My name is Asad Yaqub, and we are going to start with your IELTS speaking test. Do you work or study?
So I do study.
Mike, please come closer to the mic. Yeah.
So I do study, and I have just completed my undergraduation degree. And I do further more studies about my degree and
Okay, all right, that's good. Let's take a start with your speaking test. Where do you buy most of your clothes?
So I usually buy most of my clothes from nearby market from my house, and some clothes are very expensive, and some are very less expensive. So I prefer in middle of between expensive and some less expensive.
Okay. How often do you buy new clothes for yourself?
So I usually buy some that clothes which is very easily fit to me, and which suits to me, and it really comfortable to me. Yes.
Okay. How do you decide which clothes to buy?
I usually decide some that of the clothes which is very easily handled, and I prefer some spring season clothes which is easily adjustable to any season.
Okay. Have the kinds of clothes you like changed in the recent years?
So, no, I have not changed my recent year clothes because I prefer same things which really suits me. That's I prefer all season clothes.
All right, we now move on to IELTS speaking part 2, and your topic is describe an interesting discussion you had about how you spend your money. This is the topic, and you have 1 minute to read the topic and write down some notes. You will now have to speak on this topic for 1 to 2 minutes.
So I had discussion about my recent clothing with my friend, and I choose this topic because I said. Sorry, so I suggest that I spend more money, and it looks like cheaper, and so, the result of the discussion was it makes me it takes me to take more ideas about which clothes I choose, and which I prefer to do. And it is really interesting because it makes me develop more ideas about my suggestions and my clothing expenses.
All right, thank you. We now move on to IELTS speaking part 3. Why do some parents give their children money to spend each week?
So, usually parents give their children to money to spend their some expenses, and to take some lunches at your break time, and usually parents give money because of their expensive in some categories, such as their clothes, their other expenses, like whenever they go out for other
Okay,
restaurants.
do you agree that schools should teach children how to manage money?
I usually some schools teach children, and some not prefer that they suggest students to spend where they spend their money. I like it should be suggested by their parents, and some teachers also very acceptable that they should
Okay,
teach
do
their
you
children.
think it is a good idea for students to earn money while studying?
Say, yes, I prefer that students should earn money while studying, because it makes their some expenses cover, and it makes their some expenses cover, and it takes them comfortable, because some of the time children, some students are not in the way that they give money from their parents.
Okay, thank you very much. That's the end of your IELTS speaking test. Now, listen, as far as speaking part 1 is concerned, you are communicating with very limited language resources that includes both grammar and vocabulary. So try to use a variety of words and a variety of sentence structure, and variety of words is only possible when you have variety of ideas. If you're moving around the same idea, you will use the same words. Then there was a question, have the kind of clothes you like changed in recent years? You did not understand the question, and your answer was irrelevant to the question. Okay, so you took several pauses as you speak in part 1, 2, 3, and there are certain repetitions. Repetition means you say something, then you repeat the same thing, and then you move on. Try to overcome that as well, and overall try to energize yourself. You should be more energetic when you speak, and try to speak fluently without like that. Okay, just speak fluently. And then there were some grammatical mistakes, of course. At one point you said should be suggest. It is passive voice, so it should have been should be suggested, right? So looking at your overall performance, this type of speaking can bring you 6 men, right? Thank you.